Hello everyone. Today we're going to be talking about models or modeling. Modeling is something that is very important to science. Given that we study so many things in science that we have trouble touching, seeing, or working with, we definitely have to have the ability to make models of certain things or concepts so that we may study them further. And the way we do that is we use models. Models are representations of complex objects or processes. So in essence, they show something else, whether it is an object or a process. They may shrink it down to be smaller. They may make it larger because it's already very small. We want to be able to use a model to make it so that we can work with something we would normally not be able to work with. An example of a model is a map, a building blueprint, and model cars. In this case, we have an example of a model being a map of a campus. This would be a way we would use models in everyday life. Now, you can't fly over a campus in a plane every time you want to find your way to your next class. So you're handed a model that shows you where the walking passageways are, where the buildings are, and even has them numbered and labeled. This is a useful everyday model similar to the kind that we would use in science. There is a specific type of model we'll be talking about today called scale model. A scale model is a model that accurately shows the proportions between its parts, meaning that however big the parts are on the actual object in relation to each other, they are that same size in relation to each other on the smaller or larger scale model. Let's take a look. So if I was to show you this picture of a truck and tell you this is the model of the truck that I drive to work, you would probably not believe me, and that would be good, because this is not what a regular truck looks like. It's not what we say to scale. The proportions are wrong. The size of my truck's tires compared to the size of my truck are not the same as in this model. My tires are not this big compared to my actual truck. So this would be a model of a truck, but not a scale model, because the proportions are off. Let's take a look at a scale model. So as we look at this car, we might actually see this car driving around on the street. In fact, if you showed it on a road enlarged, you would be hard to tell that it was a model at all. And that's really what a scale model is. The proportions are correct. The size of the tires compared to the car are the same as the actual car that this is modeled after. The windows compared to the car. The headlights compared to the rest of the car. This is what a scale model is. The key word being proportions. The proportions between its parts should be the same as what it's modeled after. Okay? So let's take a look at some examples. We have a model here. This is a map, similar to the one we showed as an example. The question would be, is it a model, a regular model, or a scale model? Take a minute to think about it. If you were thinking that this is a regular model, you were correct. It is not a scale model, because as we look, it looks hand-drawn, which means the proportions cannot be 100% correct. We have trees, which I'm sure there is not a single tree here and a single tree here and a giant chest of gold sitting in the middle of a valley. Those are representations that are out of proportion. So this would be a model, but not a scale model. Next, we have a picture of a baby seal. This is an actual photograph of a baby seal that has not been doctored. Therefore, it is a real model and also a scale model. The proportion between the eyeballs, the nose, and the size of the seal are accurate to what the actual seal is, because this is an actual photograph. This would be a scale model, because the proportions are correct. Here we have a blueprint. This is a model, and in fact a scale model of a spaceship. showing how big each part would be compared to the other. Everything is in proportion. As you can see, we've moved on to this picture of a jet. This jet would be a great example of a model of a jet. Is it a jet? Yes. There's a wing here, there's a tail here, there's even a driver. But is this an accurate model that suggests that the proportions are real compared to a real jet? I would say no. Therefore, this would be a perfect example of something that is a model, but not a scale model. That will be all for now. Good luck in your assignment, and please rewatch the video if you need any help.